Welcome to Tai Chi. Everybody ready? Let's warm up. Hands at your waist, turn your neck. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Stretch your neck. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Turn your shoulders. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Other way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Expand your chest. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Waist exercise. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Airplane. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Touch toe. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Turn your hips. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Other way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Be careful. Shift your weight. Kick your foot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Other side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Kick your butt. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Shift your weight. 8, 9, 10. Turn your knees. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Other way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Heisman, open up our span, parallel feet, choose one side, cross and hold. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Other way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Short one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Other way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, practicing our golden cockerel, remembering our good Tai Chi posture, which is dropping our shoulders, middle finger to the side seam of our pants, tucking our butt in so that our pelvic bone flares up, hollowing out our chest, chin down, head erect held up by our silk silver thread, opening up our span, tongue on your palate. Here we go. We're going to shift our weight to the left, center, and up. Down, opening up our span, center, and up. Down, counterbalance and center, down, and up. Shift our weight, center, and up. Down, center, and up. One more set. Down, center, and up. Down, center, and up. Kicking out. Weight evenly distributed. Shift to the left. Cross and out. Down, center, up, and out. Down, center, up, and out. Down, center, and out. Last set, up, and out. Ensure your counterbalance hand is countering your front hand. Up, and out. Holding our ball on the T stance, rooting down on our right or back foot, checking the size of our ball, chest level and 2 inches below your navel. Almost weightless foot on your left toe. Here we go. L stance. Rotate. Move the hips and waist. Part the wild horse's mane. Here it is. Sit back all the way. Pivot on your heel, firm down, T and ball at the same time, out and to the side, L, bottom hand advances, part the wild horse's mane. Sit back, pivot on your heel, firm down, T stance, hold your ball, out and to the side on the heel, bottom hand advances, turn the hips and waist to part the wild horse's mane. Sit back, pivot, hold your ball on a T stance, out and to the side, bow stance. Listen carefully, sit back, twist step, right hand higher, left hand parallel. What are we going to do? We're going to part the wild horse's mane? No, we don't have a ball. We're going to brush our knee and multitask. Here we go. Ear, heel, hand, face, turn your hips and waist, catch that ball in the center. Sit back, pivot on your heel, left hand higher, right hand parallel on a T, ear, heel, hand, face, brush your knee. Sit back, pivot, T stance, parallel and higher, ear, heel, hand, L stance, bow stance. Sit back, twist step, listen carefully, right hand on the bottom of the ball, holding your ball on a T. We're going to grasp the bird's tail. The first part of grasping at the bird's tail is warding off. Out with your heel, use your forearm to push your opponent away. Turn your hips and waist and power down to pull him back. Look back. Turn, square, then contact at your wrist with your energy to push him out. Separate, roll back, roll up, and then forward. Sit back, pivot, left hand on the bottom to hold your ball on the tee. We're going to ward off. Out on an L stance, bottom hand advances, energy up and across, power it down and pull him down. Drag him down, look back, turn, contact with all that power to push him out again. Rotate, sit back, up and forward. Sit back, pivot, hold your ball on the T stance. We're going to part the wild horse's mane. Out and to the side. Here it is. Listen carefully. Flip that hand and join it. What are we going to do? Cloud hand. Sit back. Pivot. 12 o'clock cup and stem. Pivot out to 9 o'clock. Close and flip meet. 12 o'clock, middle or cup. 3 o'clock, flip meet, open. Middle or cup. 9 o'clock, only flip meet. Middle or cup. 1, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, flip meet. Close your stance. 12 o'clock, middle or cup. 11, 9, flip and open. 12, 3 o'clock, only flip meet. Center yourselves, up, golden cockerel. Down, center, and up. Down, center, up, and out. Down, center, up, and out. Holding our ball on a T stance, we're going to grasp the bird's tail. Out and to the side, ward off. Finish up by turning your hips and waist to grasp the bird's tail. Pull down, pull back, look back. Turn, then square, then contact, push. Separate, roll back. Roll up and forward. Sit back, pivot. Left hand on the bottom to hold your ball on a tee. We're going to ward off. Out and to the side, L stance, power up and across. Finish up your rotation to grasp the bird's tail. Pull down, pull back, look back. Turn, then square, then contact, push out. Separate your hands and roll back. Roll up and forward. New lesson. Sit back, pivot and turn. Pivot and open. Pivot and come in. Shift your weight to the left. Cross your hands with your right wrist on the inside of your cross. As you embrace the tiger, pulling him up, rotate on your wrist so that both palms are facing you. Push out with the energy of your left wrist to separate both hands. Both palms are down, facing the floor, shoulder level away. You're going to drop your shoulders, make yourself small, ramp around, and do the opposite of closing form by opening form, commencing form by closing your form. Okay, so that's what we're going to do today. So we're on lesson number 7, and after today you'll have your whole repertoire of 10 movements with you. And what I plan to do for the remaining lessons is, of course, refine them, clarify things that are not clear, and also maybe move on to Tai Chi walk, which will then give you more strength in your legs and develop more muscle strength, so that over time, if you consider doing Tai Chi in the different forms, you have that groundwork laid. All right, before we go on to the new movement, let's take the whole 10 form and see it together. So we didn't do our commencing form, we didn't do our repulsing of the monkey, and we didn't do everything in sequence, okay? So here we go. Good Tai Chi posture. Commencing form. Slowly drain the weight off of our left foot. Heel comes up on our toe, off the ground, toe down, arch down, heel down. Hands rotate to the middle of our thighs as we take a deep breath in and elevate both hands. At shoulder level, we reverse the process by dropping our shoulders, tucking our elbow and our wrists down, centering our front hand, left hand, while our right hand comes up back higher, opening to the ceiling, both palms, bringing it to our ear, turning our face, meeting both hands in the middle as we repulse the monkey. Centering and opening up higher, bringing it to our ear, turning our face, meeting both hands in the middle, slide forward, slide back. T stance, left hand higher, right hand higher, left hand parallel. We're going to brush our knee. Heel, ear, hand, turn the hips and waist to brush your knee. O stance. Sit back all the way. Pivot on your heel. Firm down, T parallel and higher. Ear, heel, hand, face, brush your knee. Sit back, pivot, hold your ball in a T stance. We're going to part the wild horse's mane. Out and to the side, L stance, bottom hand advances to present your snack. Here it is. Sit back all the way. Pivot on your heel. Hold your ball in a T stance. Out on an L stance, bottom hand advances to part the wild horse's mane. Flip that hand and join it. Then sit back. Pivot, stem and cup. Pivot, flip meet, close. Cloud hands. Middle or cup at 12. Flip meet, open. Middle or cup at 12. Only flip meet at 9 o'clock. Middle or cup at 12. 2, 3 o'clock, flip meet, close your stance. Middle or cup, 9 o'clock, flip meet, open. Middle or cup, only flip meet. We're leaving cloud hands and transitioning into a golden cockerel. Down, shifting our way up, golden cockerel. Down, right hand on the outside, right foot coming up, kicking out. Left hand, left foot up, and out. Holding a ball on a T stance, we're going to ward off. Out on an L stance, push them away, and drag them down. And turn, then square an energy at your wrist to push out. Roll back, roll up and forward. Sit back, pivot, left hand on the bottom, hold your ball on a T stance, out on an L stance, forearm your opponent, and grasp the bird's tail. Pull down, look back. Turn energy at your wrist to push out. Flow back, flow up, and forward. Sit back, pivot and turn, pivot and open, pivot and in. Shift your weight to the left, right hand on the inside of your cross to embrace the tiger, pulling him up, rotating on your wrists, pushing out. Separating your hands, dropping your shoulders as you make yourself small. Wrap around to the side seam, heel up on your toe, toe down, heel down, closing form. Okay, very good. So let's take apparent closing out of context and learn how to close our form. So after we have done our last grasping of the bird's tail, we're going to pivot and turn, pivot and open, pivot in, move our hand in, right hand on the inside of my cross as I embrace the tiger, pulling him up, rotating on my wrist so that both palms are facing me, then push out, shoulder width away. I then drop my shoulders, make myself small as I close my form, wrapping around where I started to the middle seam of my pants, lifting off the ground and closing my form. Okay, watch one more time. We're in the last grasping of the bird's tail. Sit back, pivot and turn, pivot and open, pivot in and in, off the ground to embrace the tiger, safety measure because I only need 1 foot to balance and shift my weight. Rotate on my wrists at chest level, push out, palms are downward, drop my shoulders, make myself small as we bring all that energy back to our system to close our form. Okay, let's try it. Holding our ball in a T stance, left hand on the bottom, rooting down on our right or back leg. We're going to ward off. Out and to the side, ward off. Push them away. Then drag them down. Energy stored in the back leg and then coming across to our wrist to push out. Separate, roll back, roll up and forward, slowly. Sit back, pivot and turn, pivot and open, pivot and in. Shift your weight to the left foot, put your right hand on the inside of the cross for safety, bringing it up as you embrace the tiger. Then rotating on your wrist so that both palms are facing you. Energy of the left wrist pushes out the right wrist. Both palms are facing the ground. At shoulder level, you're going to drop your shoulders, drop your elbows, drop your wrists, flex your knees, wrap around to the side seam of your pants, lift up your foot, balance off the ground, closing form. One more time. On a T stance, rooting down on the right or back foot. Left hand on the bottom, right hand on the top. Think about what you're going to do. You're going to do the last grasping of the bird's tail. First, warding off. Out and to the side. Use your forearm. Push your opponent away. Finish off with that power that you have to drag him down as if to grasp the bird's tail. Look back at him and then store that energy and push it out at your wrist and separate your hands and roll back, roll up and forward. What are we going to do? We're going to listen and sit back, pivot and turn, pivot and open, pivot in and move the hand in, shift our weight to the left, put the right hand on the inside of our cross as we embrace the tiger, pulling him up, chest level, rotate both hands so that both palms are facing you. Push out with the energy of your left wrist. Separate shoulder width away, then drop your shoulders. Make yourself small as you flex your knees. Wrap around, do not rush this portion. On your toe, toe down, heel down. So every little movement within the movements are important. So even though if you're closing and you're saying, wow, I'm almost done, you don't have to indicate to someone that. They will feel the energy within you coming back to you just by watching you, okay? So never think that here I am on my last second, hooray, that's something that you do not want to display in your movements nor in your carriage. All right. I'll do it for you, so you're going to watch, but you realize, okay, I'll do it the way we just did, and then I'll face you, okay? So this time, watch where my feet are, because I think that, and I'll call it to you, where they're staggered, and it's fine to keep them staggered. It's in the best position, okay? So I'm on a T stance, rooting down, left hand on the bottom, good Tai Chi posture. I'm coming out onto the side, I'm warding off. Finishing up with the power that I have by turning my hips and waist to drag down my opponent as if I'm grasping the bird's tail. Then I'm going to turn, and my energy is stored in my wrist now, and I'm going to push him out again. And you see where my glance is. My glance is out into infinity. It's not just dealing with what I'm doing at the moment. Sit back, pivot, and turn. I did not move my hand. It's attached to my body. And moving out, I did not just move my hand. I'm moving because I'm pivoting and my hand is attached to my body. That's where I'm staggered. I bring it in and my right hand comes on the inside, which you cannot see. I'm rotating at my wrists. Both palms are facing, pushing out. Separating at shoulder width and then dropping my shoulders, making myself small as I wrap around and close my form. Okay, doing it in a forward position now. I'm on my last grasping of the bird's tail, rooting down, thinking about what I'm going to do. Out on an L stance, energy comes across my body, finishes up with my hips in rotation to grasp the bird's tail. Energy at my wrist to push him out. Sitting back, pivoting and turning, pivoting and opening. This is my staggered feet. Don't worry about that. That's the best position. In and in. Shift my weight for better balance. Cross my hands, but the right hand on the inside. Rotating at my chest. Pushing out. Dropping my shoulders. Making myself small, finishing up by getting back to the middle seam of my pants and closing my form. Okay, ready to do it a little better? Let's go. Last grasping of the bird's tail, rooting down on a T stance, left hand on the bottom, good size of a ball. Think about what we're going to do. We're going to come out on an L stance, use our forearm to push our opponent, power him off by turning our hips and waist to grasp the bird's tail. Looking back, turning, then squaring, then energy out and across, separating, rolling back, rolling up and forward. Sit back, pivot and turn, pivot and open, pivot in, shift your weight to the left with the right hand on the inside of the cross to embrace the tiger, pulling him up. Pivoting on our wrists, palms facing, push out. Palms down, shoulder width away, drop your shoulders. Make yourself small, wrap around to the side seam, heel up, off the ground as you close your form. Okay, one more time. On a T stance, holding your ball, left hand on the bottom. Do it a little better. Out and to the side, ward off. Finish up with the power to drag him down as you grasp the bird's tail. Look back, turn, contact, push him out. Separate, roll back, roll up and forward. Sit back, pivot and turn, pivot and open, pivot and in. Off the ground to embrace the tiger with the left hand on the inside of your cross to bring him up. Rotate at your wrists, both palms facing. Push out with the energy of your left wrist to separate at shoulder width. Drop your shoulders, flex your knees, wrap around, heel up, off the ground, closing form. Getting better? Okay, one more time. I'm not going to say anything. So you're going to think through your process. You can follow, yes, of course you can. But think through the process, sort of wean yourself, and maybe incorporate the key words that I just used a million times and see if you can voice it for yourself, okay? Holding a ball on a T stance, left hand on the bottom, right hand on the top. We're going to ward off. Again. L stance. O stance. Sit back. O stance. Sit back. O stance. Sit back. Pivot. 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 Off the ground. Rotate. Separate. Drop. Closing form. One more time. T stance. Out and to the side, ward off. Across the bird's tail. Contact push. Roll up, roll forward. Sit back, twist and turn. Open and open. In and in. Off the ground, embrace your tiger. Up. Rotate. Out. Separate. Make yourself small. Wrap around. Close your form. Okay, getting better, right? One more time. T stance, hold your ball. Your turn to watch. Your turn to do it with me. One more time. Susan and Jimmy are going to do grasping of the bird's tail for you. You watch them and I watch you. How's that? Okay, here we go. Holding our ball in a T stance. What are you going to do? You're going to ward off. Out and to the side, ward off. But yet, grasp the bird's tail. Pull down, pull back, look back. Turn, square, then contact, push, separate, roll back, roll up and forward. Sit back, pivot and turn, pivot and open. Inside of your right hand coming up, pivot at your chest, both palms facing, push out, separate, drop your shoulders, make yourself small as you close your form. One more time, let's get better. On a T stance, you're gonna ward off. Out and to the side, push your opponent away. But yet, grasp the bird's tail. Pull down, pull back, look back. Turn, square, then contact, push, separate, roll back, roll up and forward. Sit back, twist and turn, open and open, in and in, off the ground, right hand on the inside of your cross as you embrace the tiger, pull him up, shoulder level away, push out, drop your shoulders, make yourself small as you close your form. Okay, all together now. Stay right there. Okay, here we go. On a T stance, holding your ball, rooting down. We're gonna grasp the bird's tail. Out and to the side, ward off. And grasp the bird's tail. Pull down, pull back, look back. Turn, then square, then energy up and across at your wrist to push him out. Separate, roll back, roll up and forward. Sit back, pivot and turn, pivot and open, pivot and in. Shift your weight to the left, right hand on the inside of your cross to embrace the tiger, pulling him up. Rotating at your wrists to push out, palms down, shoulder width, drop your shoulders. Make yourself small, wrap around, heel up, off the ground, toe down, heel down. One more time, holding a ball on a T stance, out and to the side. Think it through. One more time to cinch it down. Holding your ball. Out on an L stance. Ward off. Finish up that power by dragging him down. Energy stored at your wrist now to push him out. Rolling back. Rolling up and forward. Sit back. Pivot and turn. Pivot and open, pivot and in, off the ground. Left foot has all your power, bringing him up, pushing out. Shoulder width, drop your shoulders. Wrap around, heel, toe, heel. One more time, holding your ball. Thanks for helping. All right, watch what I'm going to do. I'll do it the way you did it. Okay? See if you can pick up something that you need to improve on. New position. Hey, how many feel that they can go home and repeat what they just learned? Everybody laughed, but nobody raised their hand. Yeah, because you did how many minutes of this? Till it was hopefully ingrained in your mind, ingrained in your body, so that the movements can just flow. And I think drilling in various approaches where I called out every detail for you, then kind of weaned you from that to make your mind really think about it, then coming back to verbalizing to see whether you're checking, kind of double checking to see whether you've got every element in is very important. And so we can keep on doing that rotation until probably you're kind of tired of that motion, right? But hopefully you can let it rest a little bit and then come back. So I won't touch that movement now for the remainder of the class, other than maybe putting it all together when we do the 10 form.
I'm going to take a slightly different slant. What Lucille went through was to make sure you knew which way to turn, which hand to move, and how to move it. I just want to sort of add a little bit, and I don't expect you to necessarily incorporate it right offhand when you first hear it, but it's just to get back to some of the basics of what is happening. And I want to concentrate on using your core muscles. You're getting your hands and your feet in the right place, but particularly in the upper core muscles, when you start to think about here, you're moving hands and you're not moving this portion. So what I'd like to do is just go through and point out where I think you can help yourself in terms of understanding, not necessarily being able to put it quite to use, but you know that somewhere along the line, after you've gotten or mastered the movements of your hands and where they're going, you realize that the portion of the body that you want to stimulate is your core muscles, and those are the basis for the hands movements that you're doing. Okay, so we're going to do the last grasping the bird's tail. So we hold our ball and we're centered. We step out and we're warding off. And as you ward off, the back muscles are really making your hands do this. If you consider that the back muscles or the shoulder muscles are moving in the back, they help your hands to remind you that both hands should be moving. Coming back, coming up, turn, and when you're here, it's not the hands necessarily, but you're coming from the shoulders, be up under here, coming forward. open up. And when you're coming back down, it's not just pushing your hands down, but it's this coming down. And then when you're pushing forward, it's not just your hands, it's back here, it's pushing, and it ends up here. Okay? Then when you come here, if you think about from here, and you think here rather than here, then you don't forget this hand. Because once you move this a little bit, what happens to the hands? The hands move along. So you're from here. Let's see. I'm coming back, and you see, both are moving. So out here, foot is coming out, but then you're coming down, and as I think about here, the hands come. Because you've started here, and the hands will start to do this. And when you are coming to lift, we teach that the right hand is under the left, and it provides some support. But again, the moving force is under here. You're pushing up. And then you're pushing out from back here, pushing out. And when you open up, you come down and you're finishing. You're starting from here. Okay? So that's the point I wanted to get, that what you see and what you do sometimes at the beginning is apparently appears to be hand movements, but it's really the whole body. Or you start from the trunk of your body, and at this point I'm just concentrated on the top. I didn't talk about what your legs are doing in terms of balance, shifting weight. That's why we practice this exercise. Dropping your shoulders, going back the other way. You're coming up, you're going back down. Coming up. That's what we're trying to do.
Yes, that would be the next area in which we could focus on, is making sure that we are not just using hands, but definitely incorporating our core muscles. And you recall a parallel to, or a sequel to what Ken just presented, is that when we taught and learned warding off, we said that our energy is stored in our back leg, so that if you could come by me, this forward foot or the T foot should be weightless because it's getting ready to advance. If all the energy is stored in the back foot, you're going to have to somehow generate it to come across, to come up through your core, your body, your chest, and then bring it out to forearm your opponent away. If Tai Chi is martial arts base, you will never have power if you just waved out your hand. The hand has no force, but the force is already stored here. So it would be fruitless to store your energy and just wave him out and then just pull him down. You'd probably be on the ground before you knew it, right? So to better further what you have built up for yourself would be to use that energy or chi to develop your movements. So if your hand is on the bottom and you need to generate energy to ward off, the energy has to come up my leg, up my body, up through my chest, out through my hand, rotating my wrist to then pull him down. But at the same time that energy is working for me, my hands are being moved by my core. In this situation, it is my core moving my hands. If I did not use any energy or power, it would merely be a hand motion. My bottom portion from my hips and my waist are out of sync, hurting my joints and doing nothing for me. And this is not good Tai Chi. Okay, and I'm going to get out of it because this knee was being torqued this way, and yet my movements were all in the front. So I need to move my hips and waist to power him down. So this applies to all of Tai Chi, but this is the one that's probably more vivid and descriptive.
Just want to again remind you why we're doing this. Obviously, it's not for martial arts, but it's to build up your muscles and to help you coordinate your muscles so that on everyday basis, if say you lose your balance, you don't necessarily, if you only use your hand, you may not be enough power to right yourself. Versus if it's coming from back here, you've trained to develop the power, you trained your mind to be aware that that muscle is available to you. So when you're walking, you say, whoops. And it's not this, but it's from back here, pushing to right yourself. Or the same way, if you've got to grab onto something, if you're only grabbing with here, you may not have as much power. Versus if you're grabbing and you're starting from back here, everything is pushed, not just your hand. Okay, that's the practical aspect of what we would hope that some of you can eventually get. So when you're walking around, you're practicing your Tai Chi, maybe unknowingly, and you've practiced your Tai Chi, so you built your body so you can use it in the way that you need to.
Okay, so very good. I think you did a really good job. I know that you'll come back showing me how to do your apparent closing and closing form, right? job.